Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabhai Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Shri Radha Gopinath Ki Jagapuru Srila Prabhupada Ki Narayana Namaskritya Narancheva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasan Tato Jayamudirayet Nastapraya Swabhadresu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamaśloke Bhakti Bhagavate Nastike Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Agyanam Trimanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutala Swayam Rupakadamahyam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadhutam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivshakavitam Shahi Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Sukitpate Kopisha Kopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vanchakapadavya Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhya Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Granth Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Jiva Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 Chapter 7 Text number 25 entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Sanskrit recitation. Tatayam chavataraste bhuvo bharajihirasaya swanam chananya bhavanam anudhyanaya chaksakrit. Tatayam chavataraste bhuvo bharajihirsaya swanam chananya bhavanam Anudhyanaya Chaksakrit Tatayam Chavataraste Bhuvabharajirsaya Swanam Chanaya Bhavanam Anudhyanaya Chaksakrit Tatayam Charataraste Bhuvabharajirsaya Swanam Chanaya Bhavanam Anudhyanaya Chasakrit. Word for translation: Tata, thus, Anyam, this, Cha, and, Avatara, incarnation, Te, yo, Ubaha, of the material world, Bhara, burden, Jihirsaya, for removing, Swanam, of the friends, Cha Ananya Bhavanam, and of the exclusive devotees, Anudhyanaya, by remembering repeatedly, Cha, and, Asakrit, fully satisfied. Translation of purport by Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are wrapped in meditation upon you. Please, if you could repeat. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are wrapped in meditation upon you. Purport: It appears that the Lord is partial to his devotees. Everyone is related with the Lord. He is equal to everyone, and yet he is more inclined to his own men and devotees. The Lord is everyone's father. No one can be his father, and yet no one can be his son. His devotees are his kinsmen, and his devotees are his relations. This is his transcendental pastime. It has nothing to do with mundane idea of relations, fatherhood, or anything like that. As mentioned above, the Lord is above the most material nature, and thus there is nothing mundane about his kinsmen and relations in devotional service. Hare Krishna. Nama Vishnu Vaya Krishna Vstaya Bhutala Chite Bhakti Dira Nama Amrita Bhagavata Shiva Jita Shiva. So here we can understand the impartial nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna, he is not partial, and he is not. It has not partake in favoritism. So Krishna is the Father for all. He's Father for all, and we are all his eternal servitors, his eternal parts and parcels, sons. But Krishna specifically takes care of those who have given themselves or offer themselves as an offering to the service of the Lord. It's just that, just like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, to the level or degree that one surrenders unto me, so that same level that I am going to reciprocate. Similarly, Krishna is not partial, but he's only responding according to how much we allow him into our own lives. If we decide to offer our 100% of our life to Krishna, Krishna will also reciprocate accordingly. And if we want to keep Krishna at the corner behind the scenes, Krishna will stay behind the scenes, because that is where we want him to be. So Krishna is not partial, but then he responds according to the willingness and the ability of the devotee or the living entity to allowing him in his life. So Prabhupada explained that it appears the Lord is partial to his devotees. Everyone is related with the Lord. Every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is the source, like said Bhagavad Gita. I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. Everything means material and spiritual. Everything comes from Krishna. So he is the source of everything. And his special attention to his devotee is not his impartiality, but then it is his expression of love. I mean, even in material world, we take special interest in those who are responsible to the duties that are assigned to them. Because you are not going to assign special duty or responsibility to a son who is not well cultured or who does not follow your instructions. Because if you do that, what happens is that the dependents are going to suffer. So you try to play your cards well in dealing with your associates or those who subordinates that are under your care. Because if you don't take and you give leadership or you give responsibility to someone who is not fit for that kind of responsibility, what is going to happen is that the innocent people who are going to fall under his care are going to be under ruination. And you are also going to be held accountable because you actually gave that kind of responsibility. You delegated irresponsibly. So it is said that the spiritual master has his Daya Sagara, he's an ocean of mercy. But then the spiritual master specifically gives mercy to those who have passed the test of the spiritual master. See, I'm past the spiritual master on the test that the spiritual master does not give his mercy. He only gives his mercy to those who have passed his test. And the test will continue to come over and over and over and over again until we're able to pass the test of the spiritual master and the test of Krishna. Then we can be able to transcend. We call ourselves transcendental only if we're able to pass the test of the bona fide spiritual master, who is acting as representative of Lord Krishna himself. So Krishna cannot be partial. Sometimes we think that we say, God, why me? I mean, people are having this, I'm not having that. And we should be asking ourselves that question, not God. The why question should be asked to our own selves. Why are we not having what we are supposed to get? What are we doing wrong and what are we doing right? It is by that personal introspection that we begin to understand that God is not the one to be blamed, but it is we who are not allowing ourselves to be fully utilized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that empowerment is everywhere, like electricity. Electricity will be here. But it takes one who is an expert electrician to be able to attract that electrical energy. There are many metals, but one who has made himself a conduit, and our man said electricity should pass through, or that energy, that spiritual energy should pass through him. He is the one who's going to gain that empowerment. So the moment we get initiation, it means that we have been linked to the powerhouse. Now we have been given the connection. It is up to us to allow ourselves not to become transistors, but to become conduits or conductors, to be able to allow ourselves for the transmission of that spiritual current to pass through us. And that is what is required to be able to feel the presence of Krishna. And for us to be able to have that opportunity or that fortune, we have to be able to allow ourselves by letting go of the unnecessary things which have become stumbling blocks in our Krishna consciousness. Because water or electricity cannot be transmitted through plastics. But in all these illusory things that we are thinking, these are stumbling blocks to our Krishna consciousness. According to says a comedy Sometimes your plastic apples near the car and as a decorated dining table, so plastic apple near. Obi no have plastic apple, no be feeling satisfied. Say it's okay, but that's what we are doing. All these sense gratification material things are just like plastic food, and then we think that by taking or eating them, we are going to actually feel that sense of nourishment. It is only going to pollute our digestive system. We are going to, feel the symptoms of being poisoned. So another analogy Srila Prabhupada made was that licking the outer glass of a honey bottle, a war where there, but the one was a fret one on now one within, you don't go to the substance. What is the point? It's a foolish man's business. You're only licking the outer glass of a honey bottle. So we have to go inside. Going inside means that we have to reject normal and favorable for our Krishna consciousness and accept normal and favorable for our Krishna consciousness. That is what is going to make us susceptible, and I say, that energy, that flow, that current of spiritual essence, Otherwise, we are going to remain dry, and as soon as we become dry, the only thing we can do is to complain. Complain is for people who are dry. But those who are full of essence, those who are fully packed with that spiritual empowerment, they are always trying to give Krishna consciousness to others. That's why we say Vansha Kalpata Rubyascha Kripa Sindhu. Kripa Sindhu Bhyaye Bacha. They are full of compassion, the devotees of the Lord. And because of they are being filled with the compassion, that compassion comes from that empowerment, allowing themselves to become instruments of the Lord's pleasure. They can also direct that compassion to other living entities and become agents of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is never partial, nor will he. It is we who are partial in our thinking. It is we who are not allowing Krishna to fully take charge of our lives. We are partial to Krishna. We are opening the door halfway, the door to our heart, and it being half. We are not getting the full nourishment that we need. It is partial nourishment. Why? Because we are not fully opening our hearts, our lives for Krishna to use us for his pleasure. But the moment we rethink, the moment we change that consciousness to allow Krishna fully within our heart, within our mind, within our consciousness, that is the day that we begin to feel the presence of the Lord. Because actually Krishna is everywhere. He is within and without as well. But it takes one who is serious and sincere to be able to appreciate the presence of the Lord. And that is what is required. Otherwise, we will always be blaming. The blame game doesn't have an end. But then what is required is that we put our feet down, we try to do that which is necessary for us to get this purification which is required to receive the Lord within our hearts. And because during that stage we have to let go of some things which we are attached to. Maybe I attached to or say Jemu near my Hokwaima Krishna but that stage now we letting go, it is a very tough transitional period. And most of us are stuck within that loop. But the moment that we get that fortune to be able to break through or break loose from that vicious cycle, then we can be able to see, say, Krishna actually has always been within us. Krishna has always been with us. With all our shortcomings, with all our difficulties, with all our problems, Krishna never left, and he will never leave. So we just have to, they are also here and say, we just say, Krishna, I'm done. My breath. I mean, baby, I could be now. I mean, there's nothing I can do again. But now I have come to the realization, say, that is what Krishna is looking for. And that is what is required. And the moment we begin to, do that sincerely, then our lives will be Krishnized. Hare Krishna. See, we end the class. If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Okay, in the absence of any question or comments, then I think it's safe we can end the class here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Shri Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Sri Radha Gopinath Chaitanya Gaura Premanande Haribo Jai Prabhupada. Thank you for joining.